الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا مولانا محمد النبي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم يا بديع السماوات والأرض ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم إني أسألك أن تحب قلبي الفاتحة. Alhamdulillah wa shukru lillah. So we're going to talk tonight about the power of Zikr. So the power of Zikr, the strength of remembrance, because human being by its nature relies upon remembrance constantly. Who can deny that? The very moment your remembrance is gone, you are gone, even though you are there. So how essential is that? How is that not powerful then, if that is the case? Any person that has sound mind will admit to us that remembrance is all. So therefore, it is power. It is the most powerful thing that God given right to human being. And in fact, our state is constantly in the state of remembrance. And the big question is, upon what are we remembering? That's the question. But at the raw level, at the very fundamental level, as a human being, we are constantly remembering something. If you forget something, you remember something else. It is impossible for you to be in the state completely not remembering anything. Yes, it is possible, but if you're in that state, then we have to call quickly the white van quickly then. Because you completely is not, you're not knowing where you are. So you are constantly in the state of remembrance. The fact that your eyes is open, your ears, your thinking mind, and that, in fact, that thinking mind, that tafakkur, yes, that tafakkuran, tafakkuran wa atibaran, wa tadhakkuran, wa nazaran, wa ta'ammulan, wa tadbiran. So the 6 kalimat or 6 words that demonstrate, explain only one thing. It is about contemplating, but that contemplating, it began from remembrance. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهِ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهِ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهِ, the one that get that reality of praise, happy, joy, strength, all goodness that human being is looking for, it is relies upon remembrance. Yes? وأقيم الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وصوم رمضان وحج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا حق آمنت بالله وملائكة وكتب ورسول واليوم الآخر وبالقدر وخيره وشره من الله. So it begins from the Amantu Billah, the belief in that absolute existence. Yes? Belief in that real existence. Okay? So the word existence in itself is what provokes a sense of remembrance. Exist. Something exists, then you begin to connect with that what exists, and you start to contemplate or you start to remember existence. Such a powerful word, existence. Okay. If there's no existence, then there's nothing to be talked about. So the word existence itself, at its root, is about remembrance. So thinking and remembrance is connected. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا. The one that been given the strength, the one that been praised by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, the Creator, is the one that يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ, the one that make mention of Allah, the idea of remembrance. So what you articulate is driven out from what you remember. What comes to your mind, what comes to your heart, and you express it out. That expression either pointing towards the origin or pointing towards what you see literal as itself. If what you express is just explaining about what you see literally, then it becomes materialist. That's what materialism is about. Materialism is about see what you see and not beyond that. So whatever that you can understood from your five senses, that's it, not beyond that. So that's become materialist or materialism. Spiritualism is that not that you're stopping at that material level, but you surpass that material phenomenon, the mind over matter. So the mind surpasses the matter, the metaphysical world. So the mind over the matter, meaning you have surpassed that. Because why you surpass that? Because you're seeing the material world, you're seeing the matter is not from itself, but there is a sense of greater than that matter itself, the one that brought about that existence. Okay, so the idea of existence, it provokes the greater existence. So you're constantly facing you exist, everything that exists, this lesser existence. So that lesser existence pointing to the greater existence, that's what it meant, Zikrullah. So Zikrullah, remembrance of Allah, is that the ability to see ma siwallah, to see ma siwallah other than Allah, to connect with Allah, to see creation, to affirm Creator, to see the dunya, to affirm the akhirah. So any given moment that you're facing the material world, as far as you're watching at that material world, you are affirming the immaterial world. That's zikrullah. The ability to do that. The ability to be in that state constantly. We're not talking about, understood that intellectually, but you're not being it. So dhikrullah, so dhikr, remembrance, it could be remembrance of dunya, remembrance of yourself, dhikrul nafs, dhikrul dunya, dhikrul fulus, dhikrul nisa, dhikrul rijal, all is dhikr, all is remembrance. But the power of remembrance here we're talking about is the ability to select within that potential, within that possibility of remembrance, you select the source. So you're not seeing as what you see, but what you see become something that trigger more greater than that. That really what it meant. It meant greatest, to think greater. To think greater means the ability to see the metaphysical world, to connect beyond that. So which means, when you talk about metaphysical world, you're talking about in time, in space. In time, in space. So our mind is constantly picking up data or information concerned about our surrounding, our environment. What's the time now? How long the Shaykh is going to talk? Did I like the talk or not? You're calculating now. Is it boring? Yes? So that time, you're looking, what time is it finished? And then, how do you feel about the explanation? You connect or you don't connect? Or your chatterbox start to talk to you, oh, this boring topic is about Zikr, I know that already. So that would allow you to reject before even the Shaykh start to say anything, you close already, because you create your own story already. See, so we are constantly connected to time, space, environment, and the self. So remembrance of Allah is beyond that. The ability to surpass that. That's what it meant. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar means beyond that. But most of us gone through life from the morning until now, we are trapped. We are constantly engaged with the time, with the self, and with the environment. If you keep doing that day, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it becomes habit. Once it becomes habit, it becomes strong current, strong wave in yourself. Now that strong wave is going to influence what you do in your life. Even though you learn Tawheed, Fiqh, Tasawwuf, doesn't matter. Where you spend the most quality time, meaning where you spend the most remembrance that you really remember the most, that's what you create the strongest vibration in you, the strongest wave in you. That strongest wave or strongest state is going to influence the way you think, the way you behave, and the way you feel, and the way you deal things, how you face situations, circumstances, challenge of life, good, bad, sweet, bitter, difficult, easy, praise, blame, support, not support, by yourself, with a lot of people. Okay, so all the situations and circumstances either bring the best of you or the worst of you. It is connect where you place your attention, meaning where you remember the most. That is why the Prophet has come and established the 5-time daily prayer. So the prayer in its essence, it is about pure remembrance. وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And don't make yourself, don't choose to be in the state of carelessness and heedlessness, either in the prayer or outside prayer. Don't. Allah says, La وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. La, if you study that la, it means prohibition. It means haram. It means complete, absolute prohibition to be in the state of carelessness and heedlessness. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِ, and establish your prayer so that you may come to remembrance. So prayer is very much connected with remembrance. So in fact, from the time that you pray Allahu Akbar until you give salam, Assalamu alaikum, so the movement in the prayer, the articulation in the prayer, the intention in the prayer, been designed in such a way to provoke a sense of strong remembrance of Allah. Yes, so someone that really pray to Allah, when you give salam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you can't help yourself. It's burning. It's burning inside there. But if after you give salam, there's no burning of dhikrullah, then you have to question what level of your prayer. Where are you just now? Are you really praying then? Okay, so most of us pray at the outward prayer. Inward prayer, none, zero. Okay, so remembrance of Allah is so crucial, is so important. You see, in fact, the whole construct of this mighty universe, the whole construction of your being is nothing but about remembering Him. Okay, the most easiest thing that you can do, yes, the most lightest, okay, the vastness of ibadat, walidhikrullahi akbar. Dhikr is akbar. Udhkurullaha dhikran kathira. There's no limitation. Only dhikrullah. No, there's no specifies, okay, you do this time, not do that time. No. Remembrance of Allah is just like breathing. It's constant. So the moment a person accepts amantu billah, believe in that Allah, that creator, that greater being, in facing this lesser being, the creation, so that lesser being reflect there must be a greater intelligent design behind all this creation. So affirm that greater being, that amantu billah, as a modern people are saying, intelligent design behind that. That amantu billah wa malaika, and he have malaika. Malaika is his creation that been given certain instruction to do certain job, the workers. So amantu billah wa malaika wa kutub. So that malaika, that angels being created from nur, light, and that light bring kutub, the book. Book indicate knowledge, and that knowledge indicate letters, word, and then sentence. So from letters you combine become word you combine become letters, you combine become sentence, and sentence become paragraph, and that paragraph become the whole structure of vision of your divination of life. You see, create vision and mission. So what you select to affirm, what you select not to affirm, in the way that selection of affirmation or negation, as a result, you become someone that constantly affirming that true reality or superficial reality. So that thinking mind, which is connected to us, remembrance of that greater being, knowing Him, alladhina yadhkuruna Allah qiyaman qu'udan, standing up and sitting down, wa ala junubihim, in laying down, yes, wa yatafakkaruna fi khalqis samawati wal ard. So because of that remembrance of in all those states, because all those states is that you find yourself constantly remembering and asking yourself the 5 great questions. Where does everything come from? Who owns everything? How do you know what you know? Where are you going? فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? And the last question, what you're supposed to do. Okay? It's 5 great questions. Because thinking is start from question. When you see something, you question. Where does everything come from? Who owns everything? These 2 great questions. Where does everything come from? Who owns everything? So that indicate, connect towards that creator. Or you say everything come from itself, become atheist. So if you see everything pointing beyond itself, now you become a believer. That's potential. I mean, selection of possibility, what you choose. The Prophet bin San talking, okay, as a representative of the 7 heavens, 7 earth, I'm coming to you as Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad the praiseworthy one, Rasul, messenger, Allah, messenger of Allah, that giving you the message, articulate your language, explain to you that everything that what you see here is from Allah. Okay? So if you accept that, you become a believer. You reject that, you become disbeliever. Or you accept outwardly and reject inwardly, then become hypocrites. Or you reject outwardly and inwardly become disbeliever. Or you accept inwardly and outwardly you accept, then you become a believer. So it's always 3 aspects. A believer, which means outwardly and inwardly affirming what the Prophet is talking about. And disbeliever, the one that reject outwardly and inwardly, clearly declare, we don't believe what you say. And the one that say outwardly, yes, we accept what you say, but inwardly have doubts, question. They become hypocrite, munafiq. Yes? So these 3 dimensions, people always exist until now. And within ourselves, it is always have question that connect to the doubtful mind. Okay? And that doubtful mind, it can grow strong and it become weak. It depends where you expose your thinking, your vision, your eyes, your sight and your hearing. Where did you connect? Where do you plug your ears and your sight? Where? If you keep giving your eyes and your ears to the people that are talking about giving facts and evidence and all those elements of life that bring yourself to one point of negation of no God, then easily that doubt become more stronger in you. See? Because as a human being, we are constantly changing one state to another state, and that changing indicate possibility. It's not about forcing, really. Yes? So the one that accept that reality, amantu billah, that creator, wa malaika, wa kutub, which is letters, word, sentence, paragraph, and then become knowledge, vision and mission. And then that vision and mission being presented by wa malaika wa kutub wa rasul. So Rasul, the Prophet, is the embodiment of that Allah, malaika and kutub. So the moving human being that articulating that reality of Allah, malaika, kutub, Rasul. And that Rasul, that human being, he's talking about 2. He's talking about Yawmil Akhir, Khair and Shar. That's it. That's life. That's life. Life is about Yawm, the day, Akhir, the day that everything is going to be taken into account. Okay? Yawmil Akhir is Yawmid Deen. So, the day of reckoning, the day that everyone is going to be taken into questioning that day. Yawmiddin. That's why in Surah Al-Fatiha, the verse that we constantly remind ourselves, Maliki Yawmiddin. Maliki Yawmiddin. Malik. On that day, wal amru yawma izin lillah. On that day, it's only Allah. No one have anything to say. Everything been taken back. See, here we can walk, we can talk, we can say, we can express, we can negate, we can affirm, but on that day, wal amru yawma izin lillah. Okay, today is only for Allah. Malik Yawmiddin. Yeah, and also we can experience that Yawmiddin is just a reflection, a miniature of that complete being taken away. If you see someone about to die, you can see part of his ability, part of his strength or choice being taken away. You see? So human being, when you see human being in that state of complete state of being taken away, let's say you can walk, you can't walk now, you're paralyzed. That you begin to think, okay, you can't do anything. Okay, you go and see a specialist or doctor, they negate, we can't do anything. At that point, where are you going to turn? Where are you going to turn? So, that's it. No way to turn now. You're going to turn to Him now. And when you turn to Him, immediately that reflection of turning to Him, you begin to provoke a sense of this humility and humble. Tawaddu'an and tazallulan. These two qualities, tawaddu'an and tazallulan. Tawaddu'an is the idea of you abase, you lowly yourself. See, lowly yourself, abase. Tawaddu'an. Because you are facing His greatness. So the reflection of facing greatness, it bring about one of your main quality, that the cool quality of yourself is humble. That's who we are. You see, if you're being humble, you feel more ease. It's more suit with you. Proud, takabbur. You can't be long. Even though someone may be proud walking around, but not majority, not for a long time. There will come a point, look how proud Pharaoh is. What happened at last? When the breath come to the gharghara, all the proudness is gone. At that point, he knows it's finished now. But it's too late. So, when human being, you can do something, but that what you can do being taken away, then you begin to come to the state of a base, lowly state, which is tawaddu'an, and then tazallulan. Tazallulan is the idea of humility. Okay? Tazallulan. Because you're facing tazallulan, because you're facing izzah. Izzah is one of His quality which connect to us something that great honor. Yeah? Great honor. So when you're facing His greatness, you experience a base. When you face His great honor, you experience of humility. And when you face His kingdom, His govern, then you experience to worship, to come to the point of servitude. Takhaddu'an in Arabic word. So you have tawaddu'an, tazallulan, takhaddu'an. Tawaddu'an is connected to us لعظمته تذللا لعزته تخضعا لملكه. So that is two aspects of that one come to that contemplation, or one come to that affirmation about reality of remembrance of Allah. So when you come to that amantu billah wa malaikah wa kutub wa rasul wal yawmil akhir, the day, and this day it will come to an end, it will come to end point. So everything have beginning, have ending. Yawmil akhir, yawmil awal, awal mean the beginning, akhir mean finish. Akhir yawm, this is the day, this is last moment, or last thought, last. After this, there is no more. Akhir, yawmil akhir. Okay, so that yawmil akhir is the day that everything is going to be taken into account. Yawmil akhir, that yawmil akhir. But before you come to the yawmil akhir, you're facing this yawm, this day. But this day, it is connected to yawmil akhir. Because this day is connected to yawmil akhir, that strong remembrance about that day, it influences your state to behave differently. Because the moment anything that we accept, believe, surrender without analyzation, that deconstruct what you have accept, believe, surrender. So to have analytical mind is good, but not to analyze what you have accept, believe, surrender, to deconstruct what you have accept, believe, surrender. So that's that way of analyzing is analyze in the way that breaking down, deconstruct. So you want to analyze something, analyze in a way that build, constructive analyzation. So accept, believe, surrender as absolute truth, because it is coming from that messenger, which is connected with the three great questions that everybody asks themselves. How do you know what you know? How do you know what you know? Okay, where does everything come from, and who owns everything? That's under La ilaha illallah. How do you know what you know? That's under Muhammad Rasulullah. And then, where are you going? That's connect Malik Yawmiddin, Yawm al-Hashar. That's connect with that Yawm al-Akhir. That's where we're going. And then what is supposed to do? Well, whatever that we do, it is connected towards that. The day that the last day is going to be safe, we're going to shape and mold and construct our lifestyle accordingly with that final day then. If we are someone that have accept, believe, surrender that absolute truth, that strong remembrance about that reality, it will influence your thinking, feeling, acting, that move you towards that direction. Unless you are someone that you accept, believe, surrender at one level, but going through day-to-day life, you're not remembering strong as should be. Because when you see this life, you forget Yawmil Akhir. You see Yawmid Dunya, you forget Yawmul Akhirah. Because why you forget? Because that thinking mind that you are thinking, not coming to that a firm conclusion of reality of life. If you have affirmed the reality of life, see the dunya, see the makhluk, creation, it is connected with creator. see the dunya is connected with akhirah, then everything becomes something that helping you, reinforce your state. You see? That's why a person that have come to that conclusion, to be in the state of callousness and heedlessness, it is almost impossible. Almost impossible. Because everywhere you turn, nothing that is not pointing to Him. What are the things that you can see that is not pointing to Him? That's why the one that have come to that real affirmation of La ilaha illallah, that there is no God that worthy to be worshipped but Allah, the one that come to that absolute affirmation, then everything that he see, everything that he hear, everything that he's thinking is spring out from that belief, from that pure acceptance, nothing else. Because of that, that state of remembrance, not just remembering as what you see surface level, but rather beyond that material. So now the material becomes spiritual. The dunya becomes akhirah. So it's no longer dunya as dunya, because your definition is different now. See, you will see according to your definition. If you see this walking stick, because you define that is walking stick, because the shape, the color, okay, walking stick. When you define that walking stick, when you see it, you're going to see as it is. So anything that you see, you're going to see according to your definition. If you see dunya as, define dunya as pointing to akhirah, then you're going to see like that then. If you see makhluk, creation, define or definition of creation is pointing to creator, then you're going to see that then. So that definition play a major role in how we see things and how we build and construct our state of being. That's why the Prophet come, it defined everything. And the first definition that the Prophet give to mankind, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, La ilaha illallah. There is no God that worthy to be worshipped but Allah. That very simple, but very effective, very straight to the point. Because when you say that La ilaha illallah, you can only say that La ilaha illallah the moment you accept Muhammad Rasulullah. That's why someone that say La ilaha illallah without saying in that La ilaha illallah there is Muhammad Rasulullah. Because you ask where you get that? Where you get that La ilaha illallah? Who bring it to you? Even though you never say it, without saying you know already. Because the one that bring that La ilaha illallah is Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay, so even though you say La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, but Muhammad Rasulullah is there. Without saying it, because you know, you can't understand, you can't get that reality of La ilaha illallah without Muhammad Rasulullah. غفر الله له ولوالديه ولجميع المسلمين بجاه سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وأولياء الله الصالحين آمين آمين آمين. نفعنا الله به وإياكم كما نفع بأصل عنه وجواد الكريم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وأن يجعله خالصا لوجه الكريم والسلام بجنتنا آمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.